Hey yo, check it, the hour of power. POD cast is upon your ass. Spitting on the mic is the NZ boss, and his homie DJ NZ the odds. Yeah, don't twitch, don't snitch, don't switch. Just open up your senses. And now listen to the hour of power. To the hour of power. To the hour of power. To the hour of power.
Welcome to
the hour of power.
You know that wasn't my voice, but this is most certainly Mr Olympia, Phil Heath's voice coming right up at you. We have the highlights of part 1. If they don't make sense to you, it's because you didn't listen to part 1, so you need to get your ass online and download part 1 and it all makes sense. Part 1.
Today we are very, very blessed to have 7-time Mr Olympia, the gift, Phil Heath, on our episode.
No, this is great. This is going to be super easy because normally I don't know the people who I'm being interviewed by. At the moment, it's just getting underway. Everything is pretty good. No complaints here. Your surgery, the biggest thing was, will I be ready by January to do some training? And the answer was yes. Double hernia and intestinal strangulation problem, essentially. And so far, so good. I'm tired as hell, but that's just because I'm working hard. So I'm just very blessed that I've made it this far. Because let's face it, if I were to never win again, I'm still tied with Schwarzenegger. There's nothing to hang my head about. I'm a champion, and I prove that I can do some things that I know the average person can't. Unfortunately, you win the show. Fortunately, you win, right? And afterwards, everything's a blur. I think that's just me being a 38-year-old man now. We win this year, and we break the record, then we will party that night. We will. There was times where it was great and there was times that it was downright ugly. And you almost felt like you needed, for me, I always felt like I needed a team of people to control the narrative at all costs, because that's what a lot of other people were doing. And these guys were fraudulent. I'm probably the easiest going champion you'll ever run into. And am I the guy that'll call himself the dream killer and talk a little shit? Absolutely. But that has nothing to do with the fans. The social media has disabled, people to actually ask real questions from their idols, or you don't have to idolize me, but obviously I'm doing something that maybe your favorite bodybuilder isn't. I think I manage it pretty good. I give myself a B plus. I think it's not an A. Definitely not an A. And yes, have I lashed out and have I responded to fans or critics or whatever? Absolutely, because that's me being me. That's not me being fake. I'm treating them as if they were standing right in front of me. A person from the Make-A-Wish Foundation come to the Meet the Olympians last year, and I was his wish. He's in his teens, right? So he's had, leukemia and all this other stuff. He's been through more doctors than you could ever imagine. And I'm like, because of me bodybuilding, gave me the opportunity to get better for myself, but then later inspire somebody else to want to come all the way to Vegas for the Mr. Olympia just to meet me. To sum it all up with social media, you got the bad and the ugly, but you got some really cool stuff that I will always treasure for the rest of my life. But the better part is what I can do with this that leaves an everlasting fire that will burn forever in people's hearts. I get a lot of shit from people, but you always show up and you continually work hard, and you're willing to stare into the fear of adversity and all this other crap. You will succeed. It may not happen overnight, but you will get better. And I think that's where the triumph happens, in bodybuilding and how it can reach other people. You side with who you grew up with. And if you grew up in that era, and he changed your life in some way, that changes your life. You got people that you go in any sport, it's like that. I don't think we've seen another person like LeBron play with as many different teams as he has. And I also tip my hat off to him in a way. He's very professional. He doesn't throw his teammates under the bus. But Jordan, the reason why he's the GOAT is because back when there was hand checking, he still could put up 50 points. I put LeBron up there amongst all athletes. And people say, oh, you're a LeBron James fan, you kiss his ass. And he's dealing with the same shit I do. When he said not 1, not 2, not 3, talking about championships when he was with Miami, people thought he was nuts. Well, at least he had a goal. I kind of just shrug my shoulders if someone said something crazy. It's never to my face, right? It's always online. So if I don't look at it, I don't see it. Hey, Juro, don't worry, brother. I've had people say "fuck Phil Heath" for a long time. So I'll be honest. I mean, if people would allow me to be me more, they would see how genuinely funny my ass is. Like, come on, us three, we've had so much fun on the road. If people knew, like, the jokes and stuff like that, they would be like, oh my God, this guy is hilarious. This guy should maybe even be on TV with this. I'm willing to look you in the eye and say, I will bet my house and everything I own in it that I will win. And you won't bet the same and mean it, because you know that I'm better.
Fuck yeah.
And people get mad. But then I get those fans that understand deeper. I post here and there. I posted a picture the other day of me being in the gym, and I know it freaked some people out, probably pissed some other people off. I'm not going to go ahead and tell people how they should judge shows, but what I am going to say is try looking at me with those same lenses as you do everybody else. You die, but you get a chance to just come back for just a little bit. What would you want to do? I want to go see myself at every bodybuilding show I ever competed in, sitting in the audience, because I want to be able to see the same shit everybody else saw, not online. I know how the crowd reacts every year. They're going to be very quiet when I walk out. They're going to be extremely quiet until I hit that first or second pose, and then they're going to freak the fuck out, and then they're going to get silent again. Those moments that when I'm done, I can look back and see it in my face that I really enjoyed it. I mean, as tough as it was, I really freaking enjoyed this shit. I definitely believe that I've raised everybody's game level up. So they just assume, oh, he's the gift, man. Like, lift that weights and he grows, dude. Like, he doesn't even lift heavy and this and that and the other. It's like, oh, man. Like,
Radio, folks. Let it begin. Part 2.
Okay, Phil, at the last show, when you won your last Mr. Olympia, the trophy was presented to you by The Rock, man. How was that?
It was, I'll be honest, man, it was incredible because, although he's not a bodybuilder, he is a bodybuilder, like he is a guy that loves to train and he loves working out and he loves just being positive and, so to be addressed as Mr. Olympia 7-time, receiving the award from him, getting a handshake was everything. But I would say the most fulfilling part was the fact that he actually listened to me along with many others as I was doing my speech, acceptance speech. And when I saw the playback, he was actually, you could see that he was in tune with what I had to say while nodding his head. Wow. And I think that meant a lot, because to connect with the world is one thing, but to also connect with someone of his stature is a whole nother achievement. And he gave me some nice words backstage of, he was just like, yeah, you spoke like how a 7-time Olympia champion should. And that's awesome. And I'm proud of you. And I was just like, thank you. So that, it makes you want to do it again. It makes you realize that there's people that acknowledge your hard work, but also acknowledge the type of person you are, of how you speak and address things. So, that made it very special, because I could always say, to the kids and be like, hey, that big guy, in all the movies, yeah, look at what he gave your daddy, big old statue, and like I said, I hope I get to do it again. Hopefully, I know that $7 Productions is a part of the Olympia again. Obviously, I hope that his involvement is there. I know he's super busy, with the movies and all that stuff. He's never home probably, but if I can get that award from him, maybe Ronnie and Lee Haney all up there, that would really mean a lot. That would just be awesome. Because that's a whole nother club that people, I don't think, would understand until it happens. So that's where, I'm training to be obviously my super all-time best. And I know that if and when I do that, more of when I do that, it'll be something remarkable. And I just hope that I can shake The Rock's hand again.
Yeah, that was pretty gangster. And obviously, you guys have established a relationship, from there. And I think yourself and guys like Flex Lewis, as ambassadors to the sport, have knocked down a lot of stereotypes and broken a lot of barriers. So I take my hat off to you guys, to yourself and other people for doing that. Like it's new horizons now.
Yes, no, you're absolutely right. I think what Flex Lewis has done in his reign has been tremendous. He's a stand-up guy. He's a class act, and he works his ass off. And he's not. It hasn't come easy, for him. So I understand that, and now I see that he's starting to feel or receives the hating, that I did early on. Because when you start winning all the time, people can't stand it.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Scary.
It's like someone said this online one day. Ronnie never acted like this. He never had. He was always dominant and this and that and the other. I go, they were so upset that he kept winning because he was that dominant. Like people got tired of Jay winning. Like the same with Dorian. I mean, same with. Like, could you imagine social media back then? Like, oh my God! Like,
oh jeez.
So, I mean, it's tremendous, right? What could have transpired? But, I tell people, I'm like, that is worth a damn, receives the good, bad from people. And you have to embrace that and harness it into something different. So that's why I came up with I was always the gift, but then I was like, nah, I got a darker place. and seriously, I was like, I got to take this to a place where only I reside, and I go, zeroing in on an opponent, whether it be the weights or competitor, and that's when I became Dream Killer. Because I was like, you know what, everybody's trying to crush my shit, and I'm like, that's not going to happen.
Not going to happen today.
And let's face it. I mean, people would love to see. There would be people dancing in the street if I lost.
Which streets, man? Which streets are you talking about?
It's just so funny because I laugh and I tell myself, these were some of the same people that were waiting in line to meet you and were maybe too afraid to go shake your hand. You still gave them the time of day. It's just that now they allowed maybe someone else's opinion of you that was probably a make-believe story to dislike you. It's like high school, right? Like, oh, yeah, this, and this. Hey, Joe, you hear about Shano? Oh, yeah. And it's like, wait a minute, are you that easily
influenced?
Unfortunately, people are, man. People will listen to anything.
So that's where, as an athlete, that person, man or woman, have to be very secure in who they are. And quite frankly, I mean, if I go back and forth with someone, I ain't triggered for anything. I'm just bored. I need
entertainment.
I need mental stimulation nonstop. People forget, like, I'm a freaking computer science guy. Like, I fucking need some type of shit going on. So if I can't talk about something, I'm like bored out of my skull. So sometimes I'll entertain the shit just because to me it's fun. But some people will say, "Oh, he's triggered. He's getting all pissed off. He's losing it. He's melting down." It's like, dude, if I melted down, I guess you'd have a lot of gold on the ground.
Nice
so
one.
It's just, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, no, I'm fine, man. I'm just having some fun, and that's why I'm going to make this year very, very. Although it's going to be very serious, I think. A lot of people will really truly enjoyed it and appreciate, but there's going to be no question in my mind I'm going to come out and shock the damn world. And as long as I do that, there's nothing anyone in the world can do. They can't do anything about it. And I think they know that, because I don't think anyone's ever going to say, give me a 100% Phil Heath and I can beat him. No one's ever going to.
Nobody.
No one's going to truly mean that. So, I want, to be 100%, and that's what I train for because, this is legacy time now. These Olympia wins from this day forward are all about legacy now. This is what dictates, like, if I'm the greatest of all time or not.
Yeah.
And that's where, you get that extra energy, and you realize it's not about proving someone wrong. Because, you know, I'll get a guy who says, oh, Ramy's going to kick your ass, or this guy's going to beat you. And it's like, do I even have to respond to this anymore? It's almost an insult at this point, because how many times have I won? And someone will say, oh, well, you're arrogant, you're cocky. It's like, I might be cocky, but I'm definitely not arrogant, because I'm not necessarily talking bad about the people. I'm just keeping it real. If anything,
real, telling how it is.
Well, I'm Dr. Honest.
It's funny, younger guys that know me say, hey, you know a lot of bodybuilders, don't you? And I'm like, yeah, I do. And they're like, who's one of the coolest? And I go, Phil, hands down. And they're like, are you serious? And I'm like, yeah, why? I never thought of him that way. I'm like, guy's totally cool. Like, we fuck around, we talk about movies, we talk everything but bodybuilding. It's really cool.
Right. Yeah. And they're just like shocked. Like, oh my God.
Yeah, some of them are. You know, some of them are like, wow. I'm like why would you think otherwise? Because something you saw on social media?
Because of what someone else wrote.
Yeah,
and that's
exactly.
Where, you know, I've had people tell me, it was like, well, Phil, you could change the narrative by doing more content. And I'm like, yeah, but that requires so much energy that I could be putting in the gym. You know?
Yeah.
That's why we have a department in companies, a whole department that runs social media.
Yeah, but that's also why I, you know, and for obvious reasons of our friendship, that's why I wanted to get on the podcast with you guys, because I thought, you know, this would enable people who are fans of me a little bird's eye view as to what's going on in that head of his, and realize through my tone and what I have to say, wow, maybe I judged him wrong, you know, this and that. Maybe I need to learn more about him. And that's where, you know, that's stuff that I can do. You know, these interviews are easier than me talking about myself, because who the fuck wants to do that all day? Well, I could say 90% of the people on Instagram and Facebook. But, it's like adult fucking show and tell. Hey, look at my shoes. Hey, look at my hat.
Yeah.
But hey,
how am I feeling today?
Throwback Thursday of when I went on the vacation. That was only 8 months ago.
Fucking, I do throwback Thursdays in my vacation a week later, bro.
Yeah. See, I mean, it's you know, it's just one of those things. I'm like, come on, you know. But I always, Juro asked me, Shano, if I had any bars, if in a freestyle. So I was gonna give him not my own freestyle, but someone else's. Are you ready?
We ready, bro. We're ready.
Okay. So T.I. said this in one of his songs. He said, if I made less money, started to dress bummy, would the haters and the critics have more respect for me? Tried to downgrade my crib and the way I live. I don't think I won't. We'll just say I did.
I like it.
And it's one of those things, you know, it's like, if I were to play Woe Is Me, oh man, if I were to play the Woe Is Me shit, I mean, come on, guys, I've had hardship, I've had all kind of stuff, but no one wants to hear that crap. You know,
so,
like,
bro, you're not wearing your white robe and those slippers that you had in that vacation island. Maybe you're not in a bubble bath right now, bro.
Do you realize, like, okay, so there's a couple things about that movie that I have to address. Number one, they did not use half of the things that I said on there. I was the funniest guy. I think I was funnier than Arnold. They just didn't release the content. I mean, I'm talking shit. I'm saying, I mean, it was like funny, and it would have stung some of the competitors in that film. It would have stung them hard. Now, number two, the bathroom scene. They wanted me to get in the shower. I was like, dude, that sounds kind of weird.
Damn straight's weird.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Do you really have to see my naked ass get in the shower? Like, nah, I'm cool. So they're like, oh, we just get a bath going. And then and I'm thinking, I got Epsom salts, you know? Like, they're like, no, like, put some bubbles in it and stuff. And I'm thinking, fuck? So they had to literally beg me to do it. Like, it was like 30 minutes of like, hey man, like, it really looked cool and this and that. And, you know, you're like reading your magazines and And I'm like, what kind of fucked up shit is this? Like, man, I came from a real inner city, like, hood, in Seattle, Washington. I'm thinking, I'm about to lose all street credibility off of this one fucking thing. Wearing fucking slippers and then we put
what were you drinking, bro? Were you drinking chamomile tea?
I wish I was. That would have just topped it all off, right?
Oh, bro.
Yeah. So and then the last thing of the movie that cracked me up was that they did voiceovers at the end of it, right? So like when they were announcing the call outs between Kai and I, they had someone do a voiceover and it wasn't even the same person. And then, they panned to Bob and he's like, yeah, when he talked about, it's decided by 1-point decision. And everybody was like in the movie, they're like, oh my God. So like when people see that in real life, they're like, oh man, you only won by 1 point. And I'm like, actually guys, if they would have kept filming, Bob Ciccarello, because I was there, Bob Ciccarello said, this is settled by a 1-point decision. And then everybody goes, oh, and he goes, yeah, between the men's third and fourth place in the men's 212 class.
Yeah, it wasn't even you. Yeah.
And it's so funny because people that only saw the movie that weren't actually there at the Olympia, you had to be there to even remember that. And maybe people didn't even remember that shit because it just went over their head,
Yeah.
And I always, not always, but every now and again I'll mess with Bob Chick and I say, hey man, you like made some people really fucking hate me over that shit. And I'm like, it's just funny because they're like, oh, you didn't win with no perfect score, asshole. Like you won by 1 point. And I'm like, actually, dude, I had to tell a guy on Twitter, I said, actually, man, I shouldn't even put energy into this shit. But here's the website that actually has the score sheet. So give it a look. I copy and pasted it. Give it a look, and I'll wait for your response. And he never said anything. And I'm like, guys, like, there is no reason for me to lie about something that you can go Google. Yeah. That don't make no damn sense. But yeah, that film, man, shit, dude, that was like, oh my God. I wish they would have done like a 2.0 where they had my outtakes, because I think it was fucking awesome.
They give it 10 years, bro. They'll bring it out or something,
Yeah.
They'll make some money out of it later on.
They'll try to, but
there'll be some good. I've hung around you, bro. I know how much of a crack up you are. There'll be some good content there.
Trust me, bro. I was like, oh man, I was talking about how people pose and like, yeah. I was talking about like how, like, just, I mean, shit that like I said, it would have stung the guys that I went against. But that's what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to be. I'm not expecting someone to be my best friend while I'm getting ready for the Olympia.
Yeah. It's like trash talking in basketball.
Yeah. Bro. Oh shit, man! I've heard more trash talking in a pickup game than I have even on the internet, even on social media. It's like, are you kidding me right now? Like, shit, please.
But Shayna's right. When the Arnold got re-released, he was supposed to be the bad guy, and they just pushed him, further high in his status. He was the good guy after that, even though it's trash talking with Lou and all that.
Oh, pumping iron, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just interesting because back then, see, the difference is that you had the magazines show you, so much love that they made you into a god, and because of the publications dying around the same time as the movie came out, social media took over and this and that, and people could create their own narratives. Whereas before, like I said, I mean, it was all in print. People didn't even know who won the Olympia until like months later,
Yeah.
So, with that movie, Pumping Iron, I mean, yeah, people probably thought, man, Arnold's kind of a dick, this and that. Like he's kind of making fun of somebody that has a hearing problem and shit. Like,
yeah, I was one of them. I was like, whoa.
Like, wow, man, like that's kind of rude, But then you realize, like, things could be said one way and then shown, and you see reality shows. I mean, some of it's scripted, some of it isn't, and none. I'd never received the script from that film, but it was definitely more of a docudrama than a documentary, So I felt like the only way I'll get my second chance when I do my own biopic or documentary one day.
Yeah.
I think that's where it's not about payback or anything. It's about like, let me tell you, kind of like how we're talking here. Let me tell you what I know and how things really went down. And I think a lot of people would fucking love it because
they'll love it, bro. They'll love it.
Because the stories, man, like, and just the stories of like how to deal. I mean, come on, guys, I've been through it all. I've been through divorce. I've been through family passing away, businesses going haywire, all while being the champ.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I can relate to the average person, and it's enabled me to receive email from fans that say, "Hey, man, I lost my wife, or I lost my father due to cancer or whatever, and the way that how did you deal with it, man? Like, I'm dealing with it right now, and you won the Olympia. Like, I know that's really hard, and this and that. How did you do it?" And I get to actually talk to a complete stranger and give them a nice chat, to kind of remind them of what's meaningful in life, and I think it's very important that when it's all said and done, I kind of have that moment in time to express myself accordingly, because it's just something that I think will provide me the closure I need to permanently retire. Because when I retire, I'm not coming back, right? I'm not going to pull that, I'm gone for 10 years, come back shit. Nah, I'm gonna be chilling with you guys, man. Freaking having some beer and talking shit.
Fuck yeah.
But
when you do that movie, can I play Ronnie and maybe get Shane to play someone in the 202 class?
Shit. You'll need a lot of tan, bro. You need a lot of tan.
Bro, we'll get special effects.
I don't know what blow up suit you're investing in.
Bro, I'll come out as Moses. No one knows it's me.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah, when it came out as Moses.
Dude, like you know how hard it is to not try to pull some of that shit at the Olympia, because it's prohibited, right? It's you can't bring out a costume, and I'm like, man, there ain't nothing in this contract that says I can't do what I want as champion. So I'm like, man, wouldn't that be fucking crazy? But I'm like, dude, he didn't win that year, Like,
yeah.
That was a shame.
Because you guys were there, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me give the fans some context real quick. So
yeah, for sure.
I think it was 2006 Mr. Olympia. Ronnie comes out from the rear of the Orleans Arena. Now, before that, Bruce Buffer, the voice of the UFC, comes out and he starts talking. Coming live from the rear of the Orleans Arena, undefeated, undisputed. He's like, he's weighing at a even 300 pounds, shredded pounds, and everybody's going crazy. He's wearing like a boxing outfit, and and he's running through, and I'm screaming, right? At the time, I'm like, oh shit, I'm a Jay Cutler fan too, but like, fuck that, man. Like, this is Coleman, dude. Like, he's going for the record, right? So he's running out there, and then I just remember Bruce Buffer being like, undefeated, undisputed, super heavyweight champion of the world, Ronnie Coleman, and everybody, man. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I was going nuts. I'm like, this fool about to come out just dice, because the night before, it was the first time the Olympia was done in 2 days. And he showed the lat. The lat was not working well, remember?
Yeah.
And he was watery that previous night. But that next night, I don't know what he did, but he got rid of like at least 20 pounds of water because he was diced. I was like, holy shit. I'm like, I guess he does come out like Moses, talking about thou shalt not drink water.
Parting water. Parting lads.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like, holy crap, man. But it just cracked me up. I'm like, all of that, and he didn't win. And it was like shattering. You know, it was great for Jay, and, you know, a lot of fans were excited, and, you know, we all were happy, right? But it was just like, there's always...
Oh, yeah, I was gutted,
like,
bro. I was a massive Ronnie fan.
It's like mixed emotions all the time. So, you know, I learned back then that it's okay to love both, and it doesn't have to be for the same thing, and you can appreciate what each person has brought, because when you dig deep, they brought something out of you that made you want to lift and made you want to be your best. Seeing their competition, it's kind of like looking at Kai Green and myself, you know, going at it. People love that shit because they knew that we wanted it so fucking bad, you know? And it's just what true competition is. I love the Olympia because you see there's an anticipation, like, is Phil really going to do it? Is this guy going to do this? And, oh my God, this guy's looking fucking crazy. And then that I do recognize now more than ever. And, you know, I respect the guys that I compete against. It's just that it's one of those things where you shake hands once and I won't talk to you until after it's all over.
Till after.
Yeah.
But that Olympia stage, whatever anybody's, you know, posted on social media or whatever's on the internet leading up to that doesn't matter. You know, that week leading up, 2 weeks leading up, because what is on the stage is totally different to anything anyone's showing leading up. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. I think it's, I definitely think it's one of those moments where you, as an athlete, have to be composed and realize that people are going to do whatever they can to get you off your game. They're going to heckle you. They're going to troll you. They're going to do whatever they can. They're going to be athletes that say, like, really silly shit, you know, because they can. You know what I'm saying? Like, because they can, man. Like, they can do whatever. But they're hoping that I not succeed. So I just keep telling myself, just keep coming back stronger, keep coming back smarter, and be very appreciative of the opportunity that you have. And everything's going to pan out. Like, everything's going to work out, because so far it has. Keeping that same mindset, like not getting overly aggressive, not being overly anxious, just knowing how to have this yin and yang to you, making sure that my environment is pure. So, like, I can't have people, hey, you think you're going to win the Olympia, dude? You know, hanging out in my hotel room the week of the show. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can't have those type of people. You got to have people that they understand their role, because, you know, you have that environment that can really, you know, make or break you. So, you know, my family, my friends, they all get it. And, you know, I get really excited for this one, because I do know that it's legacy time, man.
Yeah,
it certainly is.
It's time, man. It's legacy time, and it's time to really show myself first. I got to show myself first who I am each day in that gym. Each day, I have to show who the fuck I am. I can't be afraid of anything, any workout, anything. And, you know, it's going to all pay off. Oh, shit. Sorry, guys. This will be on the podcast, but Golden State just went up by 6 with 50 seconds.
Oh, shit.
God dang it. Someone put a hand up in that man's face. But yeah, overall, like I said, guys, I mean, it's just an honor and a privilege to be in a situation where you have an opportunity to be amongst the greatest of all time in your sport. And what's even better is that I have a new lease on life, given the fact that I was injured and now I'm not, and I'm feeling very, very good. And I see it in my performance. And those pictures from, you know, last 4 or 5 years don't matter. What matters is this year. So, you know, so far so good. I'm going to go and train back and some biceps tonight, and, you know, maybe throw something up, and, you know, maybe I'll
throw it up, bro. Throw it up. Keep us
but,
fucking engaged.
Yeah, and I think that's where I'd want to be. And, you know, I definitely want to, you know, give you guys a lot of credit, because you guys have been relevant for a long time. And that goes to show your hard work and your dedication. And you guys never have turned your back on bodybuilding, because I know there's a lot of other categories out there right now, but you guys have stayed true to not just bodybuilding, but to all the categories. You know, you guys respect the world of health and wellness. but especially the Mr. Olympia, because that is the reason why many of us, including myself, picked up a set of dumbbells and decided to lift. It's because we wanted to use that person as the barometer for greatness. You know,
100%.
so it's just so I give you guys a lot of credit. You know, it's just
Thank you.
It's cool that you guys always, you know, we've been trying to get this podcast going for quite some time. You know, so I apologize, but you know, at the end of it, I'm just happy that we got it in.
No, bro, we appreciate your time and your friendship, and you've always been real and true to us whenever we've had the opportunity. So, you know, just thanks for being Phil Heath, bro. That's all I got to say.
Yeah. No, so you guys got to tell me, is Danny still flexing every chance that he gets?
Bro, he stays around 5% body fat all year round.
Yeah, all year round, right?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, yeah. He's funny. He's hilarious.
He's funny, bro. He loves it. He's still going hard, training every day, eating clean, you know, lean as. So, actually, he's inspired all of us, you know, a lot of us in the company, probably like similar to the position where you're at. We're all in there lifting. We've all competed recently. You know, we're all living what we love about the sport and the industry. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you've got to go back and just love what you're doing again. Just rekindle that spark.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think it's important to make that a goal, is to say, okay, I need to get my ass back in there, you know, and I got to find out why I came here in the first place, you know, and what got me motivated the first time, because maybe that'll work again.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And you know, and honestly, for this prep, I did a lot of that. You know, literally sitting in the car before I go into the gym and have a game plan and say, look, like, remember when you were competing as an amateur? Remember how fun that was? What were you doing that was so fun? Well, I was with my friends. Okay, well, they've got kids and shit now, so they're not in the gym. But what was your mind like? And I'm like, that I wanted to be a technician for any exercise I was doing, but have fun with it. So that meant that if I was smiling, if I was yelling or whatever, I let out emotion because I just loved it, you know. And you know, sometimes, you know, you stop being yourself, and because people got, you know, their phones out and shit, and you know, you're being misunderstood and stuff. So, you know, I just said, screw this, man. I'm going to go back to the old school way of Phil Heath doing business. I'm going to go twice a day to the gym, be a gym rat. If I was playing basketball, that's what I would be doing. I'd be a gym rat, you know, staying in the gym. Oh man, he stays in the gym. Well, in bodybuilding, I got to stay in the gym. And coming in shredded, I think people already know I can do that. Now I want to come in with even greater muscle maturity and that fullness that I've been lacking, because since 2013, my Olympia weight has gone down every year.
Wow.
All right.
So I was 248 pounds on Friday of the 13 Olympia, and then 246, 247 that following day when I won.
Shit.
And ever since then, I had not weighed the same. I'm talking about like 240 pounds, 241 pounds, 242 pounds. That's what I've been winning at in between those weights.
Far out. Phil, I remember it's probably been 3 or 4 years where we both stayed at the Trump together and we bummed into each other. I've done cardio with you on the day of the comp and stuff. And I remember one time in particular, Odette and I were in the lobby there, and I was like, there's Phil Heath. And my wife's like, where? And I was like, there he is there. She goes, that skinny guy over there, that's not Phil Heath. And then you yelled out, you were like, Shano, what's up? And you come over and said hello and gave us a hug and this and that. And that was the day before the show. And then the next day you literally looked double in size. What sort of weight variation, like from that sort of depletion week and stuff? Because it blew my mind, man. Like, I saw you actually look like you doubled in size, literally.
It's really the well, number one, it's the dehydration, right? But then carbing up, right? So
yeah,
when I'm carbing up, I'm no longer really drinking water, so my body knows how to just get rid of excess of fluid, and you know, it just does it naturally. I usually don't even have to use any type of diuretic or anything. So that's what's enabled me to come out with the 3D roundness. So what happens also is that you saw me in the gym when, my muscles aren't even pumped. So then you start seeing me with a little bit of a pump, and it's like, oh shit, his muscles now know how to expand during a certain period of time. And that's where I beat these guys, because I've had plenty of people, he's not that big and this and that. It's like, but then if you compare pictures or video, or if you've seen it live, you're like, he's not lacking in size at all. And that's because muscles per square inch are greater than the other people per square inch. And that's
yeah.
So it's like very scientific, when people, like, the average person's not going to understand it. But when you really dissect it, it's like muscle per square inch. Yep, he does beat them. So that's where it creates that illusion, like, oh man, he can stand. Like, I can stand with my hands to the sides, and look like a normal dude. But then if I take the shirt off, you'd be like, oh shit. But that's why I always use the Superman reference, is like, Clark Kent is Superman. Superman is Clark Kent. When Clark Kent walks down the street, they don't know that that's Superman until he takes his shit off. And then they're like, holy fuck, this guy is Superman.
Yeah.
So, it's the easiest way of describing it, right? And giving myself a little boost of ego at the same time.
Yeah. That was a funny weekend, because I remember when you were doing cardio that morning at the Trump, Shane came to me and he was like, hey, Phil's doing cardio. And I was like, bullshit, man, he's not. And you really were. And like, it was prejudging. And the funny thing was, it was a mirror kind of frosted glass. So you were looking out into the swimming pool at the Trump, and this guy rocks up, takes his shirt off, and starts flexing. Little did he know that on the other side of the glass was the Mr Olympia. And people, including myself, were like, Phil, get this on social media, get it on social media. And you're like, nah, man, he's cool. But it was so fucking funny, man.
That is funny. I'll definitely be having some more fun like that when I'm done. But while you're champ, it's like, nah, I got a job to do. I can't,
Yeah,
I'm at work.
I can't, but yeah, no.
How can people reach Phil Heath? Where can they see you next? And maybe touch on your latest app.
Okay, so the Fit app is my app. It's just PHIT, stands for Phil Heath Instructional Training. Got with some developers and just some friends of mine and said, you know what? I should have my own fitness app. Primarily because social media, as we can all agree, has failed in the engagement category. It's been more about like, look at me, flashy.
Yeah.
Not very instructional. So also I see it all the time. Like my followers don't ask enough questions, but if I post content, they will. So I figured, well, I want to post content and then allow them to post content on my platform. So therefore, could you imagine an Instagram for health and wellness without any rude comments or anything, without any judgment? I think it's a great way of expanding what social media is really about. And I wanted to present a platform that not only do you get to see me train exclusively for shows and off season, but also give you instructional tips for the people that don't actually compete. So it's not just, train like this and you'll look like Mr. Olympia. It's like, no. Train like this and you'll get away from injuries, and you'll get lean, and you'll get stronger, and you'll feel a lot better for a longer period of time. So, yeah, I mean, it's been a journey with it, and I'm excited that we've launched and we're continually filming every month, 1 week every month, leading up into the Olympia prep contest, and For information on it, you can go on www.phitnow.com. It's on Instagram at @fit_app. And check us out. But then everything else, you can reach me at Philip Heath. That's PHILLIPHEATH.com, and at GiftedAthletics.com for my clothing line and accessories and stuff. And then I do have a box subscription. It's called the Gift Box, by Phil Heath. And what that's going to entail is, you guys might get a kick out of this.
Okay.
I've linked up with a ton of different partners from different companies, all walks of life, and presented me products that I actually use. So it could be, whey protein or pre-workout or favorite face wash or hair tonic or, all these different types of things. Food companies present coupons and this and that for like free meals and shit like that. So this gift box will be available, launching worldwide this month. And it's pretty awesome because, like I said, you're going to get me giving an honest review of like, hey, like inside my gift box for this month, we got this company's whey protein or this company's pre-workout. I'm going to give it a try, even though it's my Olympia prep. I'll give it a try and tell you what I think. And, tell you what I think about this body wash or this, whatever I come up. Yeah. So it's great because it's also great for the, fans, but it's also great for the companies, because if you're a startup company and you want to come out with something, but not too sure what your target market is, if your target market is what I do, you're going to want to be a partner of mine, because you're going to say, hey, I came up with this new peanut butter, almond butter combo or something. Hey, if I give you a shitload of samples, can you broadcast this? And it's like, yeah, man. So fans will be able to buy the box and get a slew of like different products that would total well over $50 for very minimal price. So I think it's really, really neat, because it's something that not necessarily am I being paid to endorse. It's just stuff that, hey, these are like things that, what else does Phil like? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's pretty original,
shit
man.
that you actually use.
We got this one company, I can't remember the name, but we just got pitched to it the other day. It's like a combat readiness lotion. So like for people that work with their hands a lot, whether it be in a gym or a mechanic or something like that, you get nicks and scrapes and stuff like that. And the last thing you want is infection. So instead of using like some medical ointment, like this one actually takes away the cut itself and seals it. So then you can continue working. Yeah. So this is really neat, right? Like you get these companies that are like, hey, I got this new food service company that specializes in vegan meals and and bodybuilder meals and this and that and the other. I want to be a part of this. So now it's like, you're not just getting supplements, you'll get, you'll get clothing, you'll get all kind of different stuff, you'll get all kind of shit. So it's like, I can't help but to get the word out enough, because it's definitely something that I think outside of supplements, people will enjoy, and seeing like, hey, like what kind of socks does Phil want? Like, hey, because I get these questions, hey, what kind of sunglasses do you like? Like these are things that companies are like, hey, Phil, like we want to be a part of this movement with you and provide your fans something special, and some of it is going to be limited runs, so you won't be able to get it in the store, from these companies. So I think it's going to be awesome.
And do you ship internationally?
Yeah, so that was the thing. So, we're going to ship internationally. And, hey, who knows, guys? I'll just throw a quick teaser before I leave.
Let's hear it.
Who knows, guys? Maybe with the response and stuff like that, you guys getting to trust me and everything, maybe, just maybe, I get back into sports nutrition again on my own.
There you go.
Maybe
an exclusive.
Maybe I do a little something, but with just me, no partners, because I ain't getting fucked over like last time. So
Yeah.
So you just never know. I actually may use this same technology and format to come out with some type of personal products. Because I've obviously been taking some supplements.
Yeah.
I can't tell you who. But they may be mine, they may not be, right?
Yeah.
There we go, bro. Got an exclusive peeps.
I gotta tease them. I gotta tease the Aussies a little bit. But yeah, guys, I just want to say thanks for the chat. I do have to run and go kill some freaking plane. But much love to you both. Thanks for your ongoing support of me, and let's do this again after I win.
Oh yes,
let's do it, brother. all the best for your journey, bro. God bless, and thanks for having our back as you always have. Take care, brother.
No problem, guys.
Hey yo, check it, the hour power. POD cast is upon your ass. Spitting on the mic is the NZ boss, and his homie DJ NZ the odds. Yeah, don't twitch, don't snitch, don't switch. Just open up your senses. And now listen to the hour power. To the hour power.